Are you there tweeting the president?
I wish he would answer me.
Like, you've been trying to get in touch with.
If
Trump.
you can DM any celebrity and they answered you, who would you DM?
Will Smith.
You have one DM to send out.
Snowden.
Yeah.
You in cahoots with Putin? Or
And they have to answer you as as best as they can.
When's Yandi coming?
Waste of a message. That's gonna leave you on red.
Going off of that, I'd probably text Dre and ask if Detox is coming out.
I do Will Smith, see if Wild West too. When's that coming out?
Wild, Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada.
Master Windu, how pleasant of you to join us.
This party's over.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I'm Bo Oliver, today joined by Aaron, Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, and we are here going back at it, Star Wars Episode 2. This is
tough.
It
was tough.
That's the thing. We had fun with Phantom Menace. It's fun with the nostalgia, going back, seeing all our buddies, seeing all the Muppets, Jar Jar, Anakin. It's kind of, it's so, that's what it feels like, you know? It's like a cheesy kids thing, the Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones is a whole different animal. This is just a bad movie.
I was trying to have fun with it, and then it got to the point where I'm like, this is exhausting. I'm just going to sit back and just wait for it to be over.
Now, does George Lucas get a pass because it's George Lucas?
That is a miserable thought to have. I'm just
I know.
Sit back, take it, and just can't wait for it to be over.
How long was it? Over 2 hours, right?
Yeah, no, it's about 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, does Lucas deserve to get smacked? Or does Lucas get a pass for putting out 4, 5, 6?
Does he deserve to get smacked?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point, because everybody talks about how the Star Wars fan base is so toxic now. It was very toxic when these movies were coming out. I mean, these movies spawned a generation of people that hated George Lucas. Everything was George Lucas raped my childhood. That was all the documentaries that they made, all the spoof videos of George Lucas mocking him for this. So
It'll never be the same. Midi-chlorians are lame. And what's up with Naboo? That's why we say George Lucas raped our childhood. George Lucas raped our childhood.
Does he deserve to get smacked? No, I think now he deserves to just. He went through a lot for these movies.
Just go somewhere and.
I can only imagine. Cause when I saw this movie, I was 10 years old, maybe a little younger.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Like, oh wow.
See Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yoda's
dope.
fighting.
But I imagine with the sentiment of like an actual 20-something-year-olds who, or maybe even older, who watched the original trilogy and saw Phantom Menace and was like, probably liked it at first and realized probably not good. Attack of the Clones, this sounds interesting, and just being deflated 15 minutes into this movie and realizing this one's gonna fucking suck too. That had to hurt.
Oh yeah, definitely. People came out of this movie wounded.
Especially after getting 4, 5, 6. Being so excited to finally see the Jedi. The best part was the most disappointing, if that makes sense. We got the Jedi finally, and this is what they do with it.
When I hear people say this is worse than The Last Jedi, I can't comprehend that.
You mean it's not worse? That The Last Jedi is worse?
Yeah, The Last Jedi is worse than this. I honestly...
No way.
I don't love The Last Jedi either, but this movie is just abysmal on every single level.
Though the Last Jedi argument is always they mess with the lore. They mess with the history of Star Wars. That it's not.
I'd rather that than this.
I think I
fuck
agree,
that
yeah.
history up as much as you want, as long as I don't have to watch a fucking super contrived love story.
That's the thing. What would you rather have? Something that kind of tries to change what Star Wars is, or something that's just terrible to watch, but it keeps true to the Star Wars tradition?
Well, that's a different argument. I mean, from a movie sense, Attack of the Clones is much worse. But if you want to say you don't like what The Last Jedi did to, I guess, the lore or whatever, that's just not working for you. I think there's a fundamental difference.
It can still be a good movie.
Between what's on a movie level and a personal level. That's the whole argument is film subjective, where I feel like there's an objectivity and a subjectivity that's kind of blends.
But what would you rather have?
I'd rather have them mess with the lore.
Yeah.
But still be a good movie.
There's
a ways to go around to messing with the lore of the movie.
That looks like J.J. Abrams is going to do that with Episode 9. Good old retcon.
As long as we don't get this, yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with that because Attack of the Clones, it's the one because like I said, the nostalgia for Phantom Menace, it just reminds me of my childhood. Attack of the Clones reminds me of how excited me and my dad were when Yoda fought for the first time, and I think that's the only good thing about this movie is Yoda fighting.
People even shit on that.
Yeah, no, people don't like that. Yoda shouldn't be fighting. He shouldn't have a lightsaber. But the movie hinges on the love story between Anakin and Padme. That's what this movie was meant to do. It was meant to build up this love story between them so that their fall is that much more impactful. And it sucks. I mean, the dialogue.
Yo, could you imagine being a Star Wars fan, seeing 4, 5, 6, and then you're gonna get the backstory on one of the greatest villains of all time, and it's that.
It's this. Yeah. No, it's him making.
How do you even compare them both? They're so bad. He's like a Chad. It's like
he's a Chad.
He's a bitch.
Yeah, no, he's
He's a fuckboy.
yeah. He's like a Kyle.
Dude, his game is so bad.
Yeah.
It's like I honestly couldn't comprehend how Padme was like when he went for the kiss, she responded. Because up until that point, they haven't seen each other in 10 years. He was a little kid and he had this creepy obsession with her. And now he's just full-fledged on the attack the whole time. And everything she relays is like, bro, calm down.
Please don't look at me like that.
Why not?
It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Sorry, milady.
You're still that little kid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like making out and fucking.
Yeah, well, what was that? What was that line? She's like, "I'm so happy to be home. It's so nice to be here."
Yes, no,
Your skin is so soft. I love it.
It's the most infamous line in the movie. The whole thing about I don't like sand. It's rough, its coarse, it gets everywhere. The lead up to that is her reminiscing about being home, talking about politics, trying to have an adult conversation, and he's just like, "Your skin is smooth."
I love it.
And she's just like, "All right, let's make out."
I think some of these scenes, he thought he was on his Shakespeare shit.
Yes.
Yo.
He tried so
It's like, yo,
hard.
this shit's about to fucking beat. This shit's about to bump, man.
It's like
They're
writing.
gonna be remembering this.
This is
in
Oscar worthy.
history. Yeah.
You know what? It's kind of like on the level of. This is almost disrespectful, but it's like Tommy Wiseau in The Room. It's written.
Yo,
It feels
wow.
like it feels like it's written by someone who's never witnessed a love story or who has never been in love, but it's like he's
like,
been told what love is.
If I'm just super aggressive, then they're gonna
Yeah.
give in eventually, right?
Yeah, it's yes, and it's also just poorly written.
And the character of Anakin too. I mean, there's a way to have kind of like he just comes off like whiny and entitled. And I know a lot of people complain about that with Kylo, but Kylo is way more developed and 3-dimensional than Anakin. Anakin's just a very one-note.
He
It's
stood no
mostly due
chance.
to the writing, and his
Yeah.
acting doesn't help, but it's just poorly written. And for this
Because
character,
he's acting with his words. It's
Yeah.
not emotions or
Yeah,
actions.
exactly.
He's telling you what he's supposed to be.
it's
He's
pretty-
defiant. He's stubborn. But we don't really see these in actions. It's just this really awkward, clunky dialogue.
because Kylo, at least, he's 3-dimensional. He's confused. He doesn't know what's the right route to go down. He's
Right.
just like, I don't know. He's arguing. It's like Obi-Wan says I'm too temperamental. I fucking hate Obi-Wan.
yeah.
That must be frustrating.
It's worse. He's overly critical. He never listens. He doesn't understand. It's not fair.
He's like, Obi-Wan, I respect him. He's a father figure, but he says I'm too out of control. That dick. It's just he's not given a chance.
And then with the Chancellor, he's like, when the Chancellor says you're invincible.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he feeds into that. He's like, yeah, I'm invincible.
Yeah, that speech, man. The evil speeches that he gives, but nobody realizes that they're evil.
My guy thought he was on the level of Master Yoda as a swordsman.
Yeah.
Bro, you get washed by Obi-Wan. Next
You
movie.
get washed in this movie when they're like, "We'll take Dooku together. We'll go
yeah.
on." So no, I'll take him now. It's fucking
Gets his
tossed.
arm chopped off.
That's the thing. Hayden Christensen, not the best actor, and he's not good in this movie. He's probably not even good in Revenge of the Sith, but he's
Jumper.
right. He's good
Better
in other
than
things,
Revenge of the Sith.
but nobody's good in this movie. Ewan McGregor's not good in this movie. Nobody's given a chance because you could see Lucas's directing all over this film. The whole, we'll just do one take and then cut. You could tell that the actors aren't given time to really feel out the scenes and feel out their lines. And the lines aren't great, but if you had a better director to work with this script, maybe it comes off as more organic. But everyone's bad in this movie.
Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor, they're trying.
They're trying.
Yeah. But
Those are your two best actors, and they suck.
I read something that is the last scene where she says, "I'm madly in love with you." I saw that
Deeply.
Lucas wrote that on the way to shooting,
Ah, yeah.
and like it shows. It definitely shows.
doubt
The
that.
dialogue and script for this fucking movie was terrible.
One thing I hate about this movie too is this is as much Obi-Wan's story as Anakin, and Obi-Wan, like, they split up, they go away, and they don't see each other until the end. And Obi-Wan really does nothing for
Can
his
you
character.
tell me what Obi-Wan did in this movie.
He wanted to clone people.
He went to El
He
Camino.
cracked the case.
Fought. No, he didn't crack the fucking case.
He cracked it. What do you mean?
The youngling.
No, he stumbled into the case.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I can't find the planet. And his little kid's like, yo,
I hated
boomer.
that. Yeah.
It's like someone got it and deleted it. He's like, oh, ooh.
This is a red letter media thing, but when they point out the kids training with lightsabers with blindfolds on, you have a bunch of kids standing very close to each other with these lit laser swords that can just completely take off limbs, and they're just sitting there swinging them.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, there's no development for his character. Everything.
No.
And it's the same thing with Revenge of the Sith. They do the same thing. And I think this point's been made a lot of times. They talk about good stuff I want to see.
Yeah.
Instead
the
of
moments that they
instead
shared.
of them developing the relationship together, they just tell you about what happened in the past. And we're supposed to be like, oh, okay. And we're supposed to assume and develop our own, I guess, connection in our minds. When, no, you're supposed to show that to us. So when this tragedy does happen in the next movie, it's more impactful.
You know, having this 10-year gap too, it makes Phantom Menace abysmal because there's such a huge gap. Yeah, I would have rather them start. Like, I mean, if we can all go back, I'd rather make a better Attack of the Clones, obviously, but start with Anakin being a Jedi already. There's no point for it because you bring in Cyphers Diaz, and if you're gonna bring him in, why don't you bring him in the first one?
Cyphers Diaz.
Cyphers.
Is that his name? Cyphers Diaz.
Cypher.
That's how you say it, right? Cyphers Diaz.
Cypher Diaz.
I thought it was Cyphers.
Yeah.
Cyphers.
But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go off that, like, why don't you bring him in the first one? And at least got a backstory on him.
I like the gap
They
between.
just made that up.
I like the gap between 2 and 3 because that's actually I think it's a good decision because
No, he's talking about the gap between 1 and 2.
I know,
Yeah.
but it is a little big. But I do like a gap in time because when we see Anakin in 3, they do a good job of establishing, oh, this is a different Anakin now. He's more seasoned and he is.
It's like he had 3 seasons of development on a TV show
Yeah.
called The Clone Wars. Because that's the real Anakin.
Anakin
Clone Wars did
is-
such a great job of developing that relationship. Those are the things you wanted to see within a movie.
They just did a horrible job of giving us a backstory on Vader. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
You almost
that's
ruined Vader.
The disadvantage of a movie is you only have a couple of hours, but spend those couple of hours doing something meaningful, and that's not what Attack of the Clones did. And it's hard to believe that this is Darth Vader. Revenge of the Sith is more convincing because he's more like Clone Wars Anakin. But even when he gets into the suit and the voice changes to James Earl Jones, the way he speaks is different. It's like he's not Vader. It's like he just put on a suit and just became a completely different person.
Yeah, and it's not. They don't really sell the the inner turmoil and confusion that he's going through. He's kind of.
They kind of do that with his mom, right? That's one of the big turning
points
points in his life.
Yeah.
You almost got it right there, but then it just went. I would have rather them just build off of that. I mean, he kind of went back to what he was for the rest of the movie. That was his turning point because it kind of wasn't.
But even
his turning
that's
point
like
was losing Padme.
justified. Like, what does he do? Right? He goes against the Jedi Order, which is stupid. That he can't have sex with Padme, I guess. Even though, in Anakin's perspective, I like how I kind of did that. It's like, well, they encourage us to love. I guess
It literally
I
says
would
don't
argue.
love. You can't love.
Fine print, red, underlined 3 times. And also, they're like, they sense all this in Anakin. Like, yeah, just send him off with Natalie Portman in a remote island, a remote planet.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
kid's
she
like,
did nothing to help him.
Well, no, Naboo, but like in this remote area of Naboo. Nothing bad will
the
happen.
hormones raging. He's
Yeah.
like 18 years old in his sexual prime. He's got Natalie Portman running around half naked.
Let's send the most conflicted person in the world,
Most
the
conflicted,
chosen one,
sexually frustrated individual to guard this hot-ass senator.
that
And
does
he-
nothing but wear sexy clothes. When it's just them two.
I hate to go back to Kylo, but I think they do that much better, where you can actually feel and you can understand what he's going through. Anakin, they're just like, all right, this is what he's going through. Take it as it is, because we know he's going to be Darth Vader.
Count Dooku sucks as a villain. Not a lot of Palpatine in this movie. I think we get one scene of Palpatine under the hood. But Count Dooku, same thing as Darth Maul. What is he doing? Where did he come from? Who is he?
Yeah, no backstory.
Oh, he's a former Jedi. We can trust him. He would never do something like start a civil war. He's at the head of a separatist movement, Mace Windu. What do you mean he wouldn't do this because he's a Jedi?
They're so fucking
Stupid.
oblivious to
Yeah, what does
everything.
Yoda say? He's like, if this happened, like the whole entire clone army happened under our noses.
Yeah.
Or does Mace say that?
No, it's
Well,
well,
they're both talking, and they're
yeah.
like, oh,
That's the
my
thing.
God.
Palpatine just completely is just. That's what the whole prequels are. Palpatine just spanking the Jedi, putting them over his leg, and just patting them on the tutu, saying, "Your time is up there, little green fellow." They suck. But the villains suck too. There's nothing to hold on to from this movie. There's no iconic moment. They tried to do the Colosseum thing with the Jedi, that whole big fight. But
Just kill him.
yeah, the Jedi, right? When they do the it's supposed to be a show. It's the execution for
Yeah,
the
I
fly
know. Yeah.
people.
But
They want their blood.
Yep.
this is Dooku. Was
Yeah,
like,
2 Jedi. Let's try and kill him with
he's
animals.
like, oh, someone in the Senate is a Sith Lord.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Jar Jar. What the fuck's Jar Jar doing?
Let's not
This guy.
look into that at all.
So you get the fuck out of
The
here.
guy who
Dooku.
schemed his way to being Chancellor, he's definitely not who you're talking about.
No, it's definitely. He's not sinister.
Yeah, Jar Jar, man. First he was a general in Phantom Menace. Now he's
From the
basically
streets to the fucking senator.
yeah. He's speaking for the senator and basically improves the clone army.
He really capitalized on his military career to make a career in politics.
What was that, a 10-year run? Yeah.
That's it's not bad.
I'd take that in 10 years.
Him when they're all like, if only there was Senator Amidala here to push this legislation forward, and then they both look at Jar Jar. Poor Jar Jar. Kid's so out of his element. He got pressured into forming a dictatorship. No, it's fun because he does the fart jokes.
Yeah, the only good part of this movie, and I feel like with Phantom Menace, at least we got some like little tidbits of like, oh, that's cool.
Lightsaber fights were much better in Phantom Menace.
But
the
yeah,
last one,
the only
obviously.
thing we got good, I thought was seeing all the Jedi in the Coliseum was pretty cool. I guess
That was
This
their
party's
moment.
over.
That was
Yeah.
their moment.
And then I guess the ensuing fight with Dooku and Yoda and Anakin and Obi-Wan before that.
Do you like Yoda flying around?
It's
Love
fucking
it.
awesome.
I love it
It was
too.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
When he eats the fucking
I remember seeing that
lightning.
in the theater.
He does eat that lightning.
Yeah.
He just put it in his pocket.
Yeah.
He was like, let me
I'm
hold
gonna
that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this shit. I'll hold on for later.
Yeah. And then when he whipped out that lightsaber, it's like, I thought you were never going to ask.
I love when how it's over. He just goes back to
Cripple.
moving
Yeah.
along again.
He's got to conserve his energy. He's old.
I
Takes a lot to fly around like that.
I feel like I really want to say this. That whole conveyor belt scene.
Oh,
That
Just
and the
because of how
chase
much
in the beginning.
Just
was-
because of how much I hated it, I really want to say it. That sucked. And
it was useless.
it pissed me off that it was in there.
If anything, I thought like
It could have been over 10 minutes earlier.
you know what reminds me of that too? Canto Bight in The Last Jedi.
Mhm.
Very similar. What is this?
Yeah.
How is this moving the story forward? We don't need this.
I mean,
It's
if they
cartoony.
What did it do?
they had
It
a
did
chance,
nothing.
they had a chance to kind of like set up something where when she's stuck in the lava and the lavas are getting poured into drugs and she can't climb out. But then in the next scene, she climbs out this big ass pole. It's like.
Yeah.
If you wanted to use that to show off Padme has these like climbing skills, and then you could pay it off next scene,
Nope.
still would have sucked, but it would have made somewhat sense. Here it's like, oh nope, she can't climb. Next scene, she's fucking scaling this huge ass pole.
If you sit back and think that scene literally did absolutely nothing.
No, and the beginning scene as well. The car chase in the beginning when they're in the city
Yeah.
and they're jumping out of the car.
Yeah.
They're jumping in.
Just go to the bar.
When they go through that shock electrical thingy,
Yeah.
and he's like, I told you not to go through this. And then they just, then the chase continues.
Go around it.
It's so stupid. You have like, that's like a legit combined 15 minutes.
First of all, they could have easily just shot Padme.
Yeah, that too.
No, they had to release those little squiddy things.
Yeah.
You
This
look-
guy comes in with a lightsaber and fucking clips her hair. Kidding me?
The window is completely open. You have a robot right there. Just one little doot.
And then the dart too that killed the bounty hunter. Why don't you just kill Obi-Wan? There's so
Right,
much
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like,
The two Jedi there not paying
that's
attention.
nitpicking, but like
Well, I like.
that's nitpicking if the movie's good and that's like a tiny thing you
No,
find,
you're allowed to
but
nitpick
it's like,
if
yeah.
it's this bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Anakin, man, he's just so fucking creepy, man.
All
When he's
his
just like,
looks, man.
I can sense everything going on in that room. So, oof. Okay, okay, buddy.
I love when he sensed that the squids were in there and Obi-Wan was like, oh, I sense it too. Yeah, I also sense it. Just as strong as you
I felt
kid.
it first.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, it's over with.
That is true. Yeah, it gets better from here.
Yeah.
There isn't a truly bad Star Wars moving forward.
What else was there? Oh yeah, the clones. That's.
Yeah,
cool.
Jango, Boba Fett. Yeah, we see little Boba.
Oh wow.
Fucking dad got clipped.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jango Fett was unentertaining.
I do
pretty-
like.
You realize
stunk.
how bad why the stormtroopers suck in the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Because he got fucking mopped by Windu.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and of course we would like to thank our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, Nerd Soup wouldn't be Nerd Soup. Seriously, your support is what keeps the fridge full, so thank you once again for your support. If you are interested in supporting Nerd Soup through Patreon, visit our page and check out the different rewards we offer to our fans. If not, then no problem. We appreciate anyone who takes time from their day to watch our videos. So thank you to each and every one of you out there watching, and remember to like and share this video. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like it. Or don't.